Hi friends, welcome to the channel of Agatandra, that is toxicology. Today let's discuss a small topic in our syllabus point, that is in that point of Vishaguna Anusara Karma. There is one topic, that is Introduction to Toxicokinetics. We know that the toxicokinetics, it describes how the body handles a toxicant as a function of dose and time in terms of ADME. That is what the body does to any drug which is intaken in our body, which it describes how it handles as a function of dose and time, with the how much dose that drug is taken or how much time or which time which is can be divided into four sections, that is absorption, distribution, metabolism or biotransformation, and excretion, which is short formed as ADME. These are the four important processes in toxicokinetics. First, let's look into each in brief. First, absorption. Absorption means the rate of chemical absorption from the site of application to the bloodstream. That is, whichever route we are administering the drug, from that route when it reaches to the bloodstream, that process is called as absorption. Next is distribution. Distribution means the rate and extent of chemical movement out of blood into the tissues. After it reaches into the blood, when it reaches into the tissues, that rate and extent of chemical movement, it is said to be the distribution process. Next is the metabolism process. Metabolism means the rate and extent of chemical biotransformation into metabolites after reaching into the tissues or the target organs, how this chemical biotransformation taking place and it is converting into its metabolites. It is called as metabolism process. And lastly, the excretion, that is the rate of chemical removal from the body, how it is removed from the body. This comes under the excretion process. Now let's look each in a brief form. First comes the absorption. As we already told, absorption means it is the transfer of a drug from its site of administration to the bloodstream. But there are various factors which affects this absorption. That is, first one is blood flow to the absorption site. That is how much blood flow is there in the site of administration. Second, total surface area available for the absorption. If there is larger surface area, the absorption will be more. Next is the contact time at the absorption surface. That is how much time that drug is coming into contact with that absorption surface. It also affects the absorption process. Next is the bioavailability. Bioavailability, it refers to the fraction of an administered drug that reaches the systemic circulation. That when we are taking a drug, not fully the medicine is reaching that drug, it is not available for the absorption process, but a fraction of it. It refers to the bioavailability. This comes the topic for absorption. Next is the distribution, that is second process, that is distribution. This is the process by which a drug reversibly leaves the bloodstream and enters the interstitium or extracellular fluid and or the cells of the tissues. The process by which it reaches into the interstitium or the extracellular fluid or the cells or the tissues or the target organ, it is called as the distribution. These are also affected by factors like blood flow and capillary permeability, how much capillary permeability is there in that area, and the other factors like blood-brain barrier, etc. It affects the distribution process. Next is the lipid solubility. Lipid solubility refers to how much that drug is lipid soluble. More lipid soluble drugs are absorbed very easily. So the lipid solubility or water solubility also affects the distribution process. Next is the binding of drugs to plasma proteins. In that, if it is acidic drugs, it binds to the plasma albumin, and the basic drug, it binds to the alpha-1 glycoprotein, and this plasma protein bind fraction, it is not available for the action. That is, the drugs, some are binded with this plasma proteins and some are free, and those which are free, they are available for the action, and those which are this plasma protein bound, they are not available for the action. And after some process, this plasma protein bound fraction, it becomes free, and at that time it will be available for the distribution purpose. Next is the metabolism, or we can call it as biotransformation. It is a process by which the body transforms a chemical and makes it more water soluble so the chemical can be eliminated more rapidly via the kidney into the urine. This biotransformation can produce metabolites that are pharmacologically active and toxic. That is, the metabolism is the next process in which that body it transforms the chemical or the drug into more water solubility so that it can be rapidly excreted from the body, or it causes a metabolites that which are pharmacologically active or which are toxic to the body. And the primary site of this metabolism are the liver, kidney, intestine, lung, plasma, etc. For example, if you are taking parathione, it is converted into a toxic metabolite, that is parathoxone. And we can say that there are two phases of biotransformation. In the phase 1, the drug is converted into more polar compound, that is, it is converted into more water soluble compound, by example, by the process of oxidation, reduction, hydrolysis, etc. It is converted into more polar compound. And the phase 2, that is conjugation process. In this, the drug or its metabolite is conjugated with an endogenous substance. Endogenous substance means that substance which is present in the body. It is conjugated. For example, glucuronide conjugate. Okay. There is also one more process which is called as first pass effect. It means it is the biotransformation of some chemicals by the liver during the initial pass from the portal circulation after oral administration. That is, just after the oral administration, it directly enters the portal circulation and it reaches into the liver and the biotransformation occurs there. It is said to be called as the first pass effect. Okay, and the last process we can say it is the excretion process. Excretion, it is the final means of chemical elimination either as a metabolites or unchanged parent chemical, that is the drug it is excreted from the body. It can be excreted in the form of urine through the kidney, in the form of feces which is derived from the bile, through the exhaled air which is eliminated by the lungs, and in milk in case of suckling infants. That's why in lactating mothers and all, we should give the medicine with a care because it may pass to the newborn through the milk. This is the diagrammatic format. In this, the first, that is the drug administration, that may be oral, intravenous, intraperitoneal, subcutaneous, intramuscular, inhalation, etc. In that second process, that is the absorption and distribution through the membranes of oral cavity, gastrointestinal tract, peritoneum, skin, muscles, lungs, etc. Through that, some of the drugs are plasma protein bound and they reaches the blood plasma, or they may reach the target site, that is neuron receptor, or it may be stored in inactive form, that is in the bone and the fat into the liver, and in the form it forms a metabolites, and lastly it is excreted through the intestines, kidneys, lungs, sweat glands, etc. This is a brief introduction to the toxicokinetics. Thank you.